King of Fade.
Are we in? We are.
Yeah.
Hey, we're live. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. You sound like Joe Pesci from Lethal Weapon. Okay.
Okay.
Leo, whatever you want, Leo gets. Okay.
Okay, well, good evening, everybody, and welcome back to our Sunday night offering of astronomy outreach for May the 14th, the Sunday Night Astronomy Show.
Hooray.
All right. My name is Chris Gerwin. I'm the host this evening, one of your hosts this evening. I am your host this evening. These guys are co-hosts. Anyway, creator of the social media channel known as Astronomy by the Bay. Too many coffees today.
Coffee?
Except I'm ready to go. Okay.
Ah.
And I'm an amateur astronomer, a member of the Royal Astronomical Society of Canada.
Hey.
Okay, first of all, I'd like to introduce our two regular co-hosts of the Sunday Night Astronomy Show, Mr. Paul Owen from the Moonshadow Observatory in beautiful Hampton, New Brunswick. Paul.
Hey.
And our other regular co-host here this evening, Mr. Mike Powell from the Peel Observatory here in St. John. Mike, welcome. Hey. Okay, on tonight's episode of the Sunday Night Astronomy Show, this is the time of year when spring constellations kind of dominate our southern sky. Lying between Leo to the west and Libra to the east is the constellation of Virgo the Maiden. And it's the second largest constellation in the sky and the largest constellation in the zodiac. Now, what are some of the myths surrounding this constellation? What treasures are revealed within its borders? Well, tonight, local astronomer and storyteller Kurt Nason will take us on a journey to Virgo and help us better understand this large patch of spring sky. Welcome back to the program, Kurt.
Well, thank you. I don't have a hat. Let's see if we can find a bald spot.
Ooh, wow, young man. Okay, then also on tonight's program, Mike will offer another Bino Bud treasure to enjoy. Paul will provide us with another interesting Rosanna's fun fact. I'll have a quick look at what to watch for in this week's sky. It will be a very quick look, a couple of things to look at. But one's pretty important if we get clear sky anyway, and then we'll have all of your wonderful photo submissions to share as well. And we're going to provide a little bit more detail on our upcoming Shoot the Moon contest, which starts on the 20th, just 6 days away. So this is a family-friendly interactive live broadcast. So for those of you joining us from my YouTube channel or Facebook page, we are happy to try and answer all of your astronomy questions in real time as well. And of course, we'd like to welcome back all of those who have been joining us through the local Rogers TV network. Thank you for your support. And my brother Danny, who watches every week. Danny, hello. And so let's get started then with tonight's program and a look at Virgo the Maiden. Kurt, that'll be up to you, sir.
Okay. This being Mother's Day.
Oh yes, happy Mother's Day, everybody.
Happy Mother's Day.
There.
All right, being Mother's Day, I changed my mind about the constellation I was going to do, and I'm going to do one about this mother in here, Virgo. And there's a tale about her. It's one of these very, very sad tales that have been on for years and still ongoing, where a young daughter gets kidnapped and have a grieving mother, and we'll talk about the hell she went through to get her daughter back. All right. So up here, Virgo's on the ecliptic, of course, one of the zodiac constellations, and tends to be the sun in that area in around the first of autumn. So we get Leo up here leading along here, and then we got Libra, the scales or the balance down in here. Up above, we got Bodes in here with Canis Venatici and Coma Berenices. And the big one up in here, Ursa Major. And so Virgo is the second largest constellation in terms of square degrees of area. It's about just a little bit smaller than the biggest one, which is Hydra down here, and a little bit larger than the third one, which is Ursa Major in here. And so the three big ones are all pretty much lined up like that. There are different tales in mythology with Virgo, but a lot of them actually deal with the mother. And since sun's in that constellation in the autumn, you're looking at a lot of things dealing with agriculture, because that's when the crops come out. And so there's one tale that's not really related to that so much, but Virgo in that case is Aragoni, and her father here is Bodes. It's actually Acarius. And they both had a dog. There are two dogs. We can work them in. Now, Acarius, he was in pretty good with Dionysius, the god of wine. If you're going to have a good friend, you might as well have one like that. And Dionysius was very generous in giving Acarius all the wine he wanted. So Acarius had shared a lot of this wine with some shepherds who had never drank wine before. And of course, the next day they were severely hungover. They thought they'd been poisoned. So they killed Acarius and threw him in a ditch. Right now, one version of the story has the dog find him in the ditch, and the dog just jumps in and dies with him. But in this one, Virgo is Aragoni. She goes up looking for him, and she sees him in the ditch dead. And so, being so distraught, she hanged herself. Right? I didn't say these were going to be happy stories. Right, so that's one of them. Another one she's seen as Astrea. And that's Astrea that maybe had fallen out from an earlier goddess called Esther, who would be the one that Easter is named after. Right, so Esther would be around in the springtime. So Astrea, she was the goddess of justice. And so she would often be seen with the scales of justice, which is right here, Libra. So she'd be seen there holding the scales up in one hand and a sword in the other hand. So she was judge and executioner. So if you weren't being very just to people, you were gone. And originally she was in the land, and just a race of people there they called the Golden People. And these were very simple people, they loved nature. There's no wars, no fights or anything like that. Everybody grew their crops and shared. It was just a perfect idyllic place. Then later on, another race came in, they called the Silver Race. They're half good, half bad. And so whenever they were bad, Astrea would win and do what she had to do and go back with the Golden People. Eventually, the Silver People left or died out. Then came in a third race, called the Bronze People, very brazen. And these were warriors, and they were always fighting and causing trouble. And Astrea got so angry about that she just gave up. She flew up into heaven, and where it was nice like that all the time. So where she flew up like that, people thought she was an angel. Right? So a lot of the old star maps will show her as Astrea. And some here, we've got a couple here from the 16 and 1700s. You can see the wings on here. These are colorized versions later on. And so you can see them like that. And here's the old picture here of Astrea holding up the scales and with her sword like that. Another story from there deals with Isis, a story from Egypt. And it said Isis was having a sheaf of wheat. And she was out on a walk one time, maybe ready to plant crops. And one of the ferocious titans, so the most ferocious one, Typhon, came out after her, and she was scared and ran away. But as she ran, the sheaf of wheat would be dropping all the bits of wheat along the path that she took. And from that, we have the ecliptic. It grew up from those little bits of wheat that she ran along there. The more famous one, I'll tell that a little bit later on, just to keep you in suspense. Now, a couple of neat asterisms here that deal with Virgo, particularly the bright star Spica down here. Now we have the summer triangle, which is somewhat isosceles. We have the winter triangle, which is pretty much equilateral. So we also have a spring triangle, and there may be two versions of it. So we have Spica here, Arcturus, and this one they've drawn it in with Regulus. So it's not quite isosceles, pretty close, just like the summer triangle. But if you want one that's equilateral, some people draw it this way. Instead of Regulus, you use Denebula here in the tail of the lion. So these three make an almost equilateral triangle. Now, if you include Cor Caroli up here and Canis Venaticis, we have the spring diamond. Some of the main stars here, of course, the brightest one here is the 14th brightest star in the sky, according to the RAS, the Observer's Handbook, and they're looking at just individual stars. Spike is actually maybe a close double, and it's variable. It's around first magnitude, just under magnitude 1, like 0.98, very, very close to Antares. It's a blue-white star. It's about 25,000 degrees Celsius, which is much hotter than our sun, and it's that blue-white color on it. Another one is Porrima up in here. Now, Porrima is a double star. It's got a binary star, actually, and the orbit of the two is about 169 years. And it was right around 1990, it started to get too close together for amateur astronomers to pick up in the backyard telescopes, and it reached the closest point, something like 0.4 arc seconds, around 2008 or so. As of 2020, they're separated enough so that you can start to pick it up as a double in, say, backyard telescopes there. Well, up here, Zevieva. Up in here, just like the Spica, even more so, the ecliptic runs down very, very close to this. And Spica here, it just a little bit below it. And Spica is one of the 4 first magnitude stars that can be occulted by the moon. And that's one I have seen. I remember seeing it years ago. Then I get at St. Rest Beach, and the wind was really picking up, and I didn't want to go outside with binoculars outside the car because I'd be sandblasting my bino lenses. So I sat inside the car with that and saw the occultation there. And another one up here, Vindemiatrix. And now this one might give you a different version of what Virgo had to do with crops. She always carries this sheaf of wheat. In some places, it looks like she's got a ear of corn in her hands. And an old ancient tales of it, in ancient Arabia, they did not like to draw pictures of people. So they called this one just the ears because of the ears of corn she was holding. So Vindemiatrix, this first bit here, Vind, might give you an idea what the crop was. So when this star rises just before the sun, okay, this occurs in autumn, it's rising up, and it's that's when they start to collect in the grapes. So Vindemiatrix, it originally is called Vindemiator, which means the gatherer of grapes. Right? So, and that goes along, I guess, with Dionysius and as the god of wine. But sometime in the Renaissance area, where Virgo here is a woman, they changed it to the female version of that, which is Vindemiatrix. And I use this one, as we'll see, if we're starting my tours through the galaxies here of Virgo. All right, so Virgo has 11 Messier objects in it, all of them galaxies. And there's one way down here I talked about when I covered Hydra a few months ago, which is the M104, which is the Sombrero galaxy. Turns out the border of Virgo, and it's just along the side of that. So it's just within the border of Virgo and not Corvus here. And I use Corvus to find it. And we come up here, there's Vindemiatrix there. And we've got the bunch of them in here. We've got 2 in here and a few more up above it. And so here's Vindemiatrix, and here's 8 Messier objects in here, all galaxies. Now these 3 up in here, these are in border of Coma Berenices. And so a lot of this is in the realm of the galaxies. Now, all these slides here I have on these Messier objects, these can be found on the St. John Astronomy Club website based on like maybe for 10 months there for Astronomy Club meetings, I picked out the Messiers that you could see for that particular month. So they all have these charts, pointer charts on them based on a stellarium. Now to find most of these, I'd start with the Demiatrix and come over to here. Right? Now there's a little asterism in here, it doesn't have a particular name, but it looks like a Stargate, but I usually find M104. It also looks like the water jar asterism in Aquarius, which is in England is called the steering wheel. So you can picture that as a steering wheel. So I can find that in binoculars quite easy, jumping up in Demiatrix. And it's just a very simple matter of jumping up from that with binoculars, same field of view, and follow along to get all of these other 8 galaxies. So we view this one here, the M104, a spiral galaxy. Okay. Sombro, and it's got this dust lane, so a decent sized telescope, you can get that dust lane in there at higher magnification. And so by coming up to the upper right-hand corner here of Corvus, following this string of stars up in here with binoculars or your finder scope, you come to the Stargate, which is again a little asterism like that looks like the one there in Virgo. And that points over to here. It's a little pointer with 3 stars, and that points directly toward M104. Right, and we can see this is 2 degrees across here. This is half a degree. So you're not too far. Once you get to the Stargate, you're not very far from M104. Now, if I come up from Porma, there's 2 here that are a little bit lower here in Virgo, but higher than M104. Go up from Porma to this one here, and maybe cut almost a right angle. And here's your 4 degree of a Telrad. Now, when I'm out doing with either my C8 or my 8-inch Dob, I have both a finder scope and a Telrad on there for star hopping. They both serve a great purpose. So I see that this one, M61, is approximately almost 5 degrees away from this particular star here. So to come up from Porma to this star and cut almost a right angle, will get you up at least to this star here. And there's M61 not too far from it. Less than half a degree, a quarter of a degree there. Now the next one, we can come up in Demiatrix here over this asterism and then angle to the right a bit or down. And we're only about 2 degrees, well, 4 degrees is from M49 in here. So sometimes in these shots, I'll have the Telrad circles either on the target or between a jump off point and the target to give you an idea of how far apart they are. So you can see here, these are about 4 degrees apart roughly. So it's not that difficult to pick that one up. And all of these can be picked up with binoculars from a reasonably dark sky. Now from going from Venn Demiatrix to here again, and up this way a little bit, then we get the string of galaxies that we like to see. Okay. So jumping up to M84, you can see that there's 2 degrees, roughly 3 degrees away. And that's the field of view in pretty much any finder scope. You just jump up like that, and just a little bit of it over from Demiatrix, not quite a right angle up, a little bit less than that. And you're on to M84. No, that's 60, pardon me. Too small for my eyes. And here's a picture of it here. It's an elliptical, and there's another galaxy, NGC 4647, nearby here. They're all fairly small, magnitude 8.8, that's reasonable. Now you jump up here from there, you go to M59, right beside it. And about the same size roughly, magnitude 8.4, a little bit brighter. And from there, it's a little bit farther up to M58. Oop, did I go the wrong way again? I can't see the top of the screen. There we go. So it's an elliptical, a little bit smaller and a little bit dimmer, so a little bit tougher to get. Okay, now from there, where's this one M58? I can't see the top of my screen.
That's all right. That's M58.
That's M58.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll say the same thing. It's come up there, it's dim 9.7, and again, 6.5 or 6 by 5 arc minutes in size. And it's a barred spiral. So you'd have to have a pretty big scope to see it like that. Or if you're doing imaging, it'd be a lot easier. So I come along here, just falling pretty much in the same line along here, and just by a degree or so, up into there. All right, now if we're going to jump from M59 up here to 58, is that what I'm on? Is that what's showing now?
M89.
M89, okay. So there's from once you get up to 58, right, then you can jump off to these other three from there. So you come up, make an angle up here like that. And again, that's about 2 degrees away. There's M89. And it's AGC 4552, quite small and dim at 9.8. Be a tough one for binoculars, but a dark sky. I've seen them all with 15 by 63 binoculars, and sometimes I can get it in my backyard, but these different ones I'd have to go outside the city to get them. Right, and then from there you can jump up to M90, which I hope is this one. It's a little bit bigger, 9.5. See, I did practice this, but I could see it at the time. And give you an idea there. And then the next one's M87, which is the biggest galaxy in anywhere near our area. It's just huge. So M87, you come back to 89 here and just continue off this way, almost at a right angle from 90 off into here, and again, a couple of degrees away. And 7.7, it's quite far, magnitude 80.6. And it's a giant elliptical. It's much, much bigger than Andromeda and the Milky Way put together.
Wow.
And then we can move up from there up to the Macarian's chain, which is a string of galaxies up through here. Beautiful thing to follow through. And Paul's brought it up several times, I think, in previous shows. So from 87, you're coming up a couple of degrees again, and you land on 86 and 84 up in here. Another way to get from there, I sometimes will come off from the tail of Leo into this area here. So 84 and 86. 86 is a 5 by 4 and magnitude 9.1. And magnitude 8.6. I was going the wrong way again. M84 is a little bigger than that and a little bit brighter. There's 8.9 magnitude and fairly big. You can see it in there. Another elliptical. So they're the 11 galaxies that have Messier objects here, that are Messier objects in the constellation Virgo. It's not the one with the most Messiers, but it's certainly got a great one to see. And again, they're all galaxies. All right, so here is Virgo in here. Here is the celestial equator. So if you take the equator from around the Earth and extend it in the sky, it is here. And of course, with Earth, the Earth's orbital tilt of 23.5 degrees will wobble roughly every 26,000 years, 25,800 or 772 roughly, but call it 26,000 years. So this will be changing throughout the sky as Earth is wobbling like that. You see how close it comes to Zarieva here and just a little bit above Porma. Well, this is ecliptic. This is the equator here. It's close there because right now, here's the autumnal equinox, right here beside Zarieva. Right, so as Earth is going through its precession of the equinox, this will be moving along here. So this is the ecliptic, 0 degrees declination, and this is the equator here. And so here's the first day of autumn, and so that's one reason why Virgo is associated with the crops. She's the goddess of agriculture. Right, so this is the time in autumn when we start to see Virgo starting to rise up, and you start to bring in the crops. We're actually starting around set around that time. Okay, and talking about the precession of the equinox, this is from tonight, about 11 p.m. Let's put a negative number in front of 2023 there. So we can go back to what you think would be minus 2023 BCE, but we're only going to go back about 4,045 years instead of 4,046 because these planetarium programs all have a year 0 in them. Still are included. Must make it a little bit easier to do back calculations to those BCE times there. So if we go back to 4,045 years ago, due to the precession of the equinox, here we have the first, the autumn equinox right here in Libra. Right? And I was going to talk about Libra tonight, but then I realized it's Mother's Day. So you can think of Libra, the balancer, in addition to being the scales for Astrea. You're bringing the crops in, you're going to weigh the crops there to see how much money you get out of them. So that's one reason why I have the balance in there like that. Just throw that in. And now this the main story here of in Greek, it's Demeter and her daughter Persephone. Now, in Roman mythology, Demeter was the god of agriculture. In Roman mythology, it was Ceres, the name of the first asteroid, and now a dwarf planet, like just like Mike's Pluto. They became dwarf planets together. And her daughter, instead of Persephone, was Proserpina. Right? Now, of course, in Greek mythology, there's Zeus, who was the king of the gods, and his brother Hades was the god of the underworld. And they had their sister was Demeter. In Roman mythology, had Jupiter and Pluto instead of Zeus and Hades. All right, so she was the mother, Virgo, and she had the daughter Persephone. And Persephone was a young teen daughter, and of course, she had to be beautiful as well. Now it's springtime, and the crops are ready to be planted, or flowers are coming up. And out of Hades, out of the underworld comes Hades on his big black chariot and his black stallions. He likes to come up every now and then and take a look around and see how things are doing in the upper world there. And he spies, he's out in the field and he spies Persephone out there, and he immediately falls in love and decides he wants her for his wife. So he kidnaps her and gets her on the chariot, and he goes down through into the underworld. Now, in one version of the story, Demeter doesn't know where she is and goes looking for her all over the place and can't find her. And eventually, maybe she finds out where she is and then goes to Zeus and asks for his help to get her back. But in another story, maybe the more popular one, she's very, very distraught. She's not sure where her daughter is. She can never find her. And so she just neglects all of her duties. And the crops maybe don't get planted, or if they're planted, they don't get watered, like that. So you come along in a few months and there are no crops growing. So at this time, Zeus realizes everybody's going to starve. So he's pretty much responsible for mankind there. And so he said, I've got to do something to get Demeter back in her right senses. So he goes down and he meets with his brother Hades, and you work out a plan where Persephone will be with her mother on the upper world for 6 months out of the year. And then she would go down to the underworld to live with her husband, that time, Hades, for 6 months. So for the 6 months that we see Virgo in the sky, which is usually from, say, March up until August or into September, those are the 6 months that we see Virgo in the evening sky. So that's the 6 months that they are together, Persephone and Virgo, and the crops are growing. And once the crops are in, then Persephone goes back down to the underworld to be with her husband. So the crops all, winter comes and there's nothing growing, but spring comes by again, and Persephone comes back up to be with her mother, makes her very happy, and all's good with the crops. So it does come out as a bit of a semi-happy story there. All right, so
Better story than some of the other ones were, I can tell you that.
there's got to be some in there. All right, so you three guys, does Persephone mean anything to you? Have you heard that name before?
Yes, but I can't remember where. It's the
Okay.
name of a ship or a boat or something.
Very good. It's the longest running comedy drama in Canadian history. Canadian show from BC.
Oh,
Beachcombers?
yeah.
Beachcombers.
Hey.
That's
And
what I
there's
heard. It, the
Persephone
name of a
there.
boat, right?
Yeah, you had it. All right. And it was a long-running show on CBC. And of course, the star of the show was this guy from Alberta of Italian descent, Canada's answer to Burt Reynolds. as you can see.
Bruno DeRusi.
Bruno DeRusi, who played the Great God and log salvager Nicodonidus.
Yeah.
So he played a Greek in there. Of course, the real star of the show is Robert Cloutier, who played the irascible Relic.
Relic.
Relic. Yeah, he was Relic. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good show.
I'm going out to see that Molly's Reach within the next couple of weeks.
Okay.
Oh, right on.
good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that boat is probably pretty close to that. I think it's still there. Maybe. Yeah. Push
Yeah, no,
that.
the restaurant's still there. It's exactly the same as it was.
Yeah, Molly's Reach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
All right. And that's the name of that too.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Nicodonidus. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good story, Kurt. Like, nice
What
story.
was,
Nice
what was
story.
his, what was his partner's name?
There's Jesse.
Jesse. Yeah.
Jesse, yeah. Young Jesse at the time. He's probably in his 70s or 80s by now.
Yeah. You look at
Probably
some old
70.
pictures, you see how much weight he put on over the 8
Yeah.
years.
Meeting all that stuff at Molly's Reach.
That was
Yeah.
good food.
Thanks, Kurt. That's a
Welcome.
great area, and love that part of the sky too. I mean, Virgo and up through all the Messier objects up through Markarian's chain. That perfect part of the sky to turn around and take a look back out into
Yeah.
from, our galaxy. Oh, beachcombers, cool.
Yeah.
Maybe anybody on here would remember that, but yeah, they looks like they're up here.
Going to rage.
Okay, thanks, Kurt. So let's go on to how about Albino Bud next?
I know Bud next. If I can find the right screen here. We're going to go from the southern sky to the northern sky. The binocular target of the week by Albino Bud is the Seven Sisters of the Pole. Now, I've said this once before. There's a seven sister in the cottage riddle. I'll read that to you, and then at the end, we'll find out what the answer is.
Okay.
So, seven sisters of the cottage riddle. Seven sisters went to the cottage, and every single one of them decided to start doing something. The first one started reading a novel. The second one started frying pancakes. The third one started playing chess. The fourth one started doing crosswords. The fifth one started doing laundry. And the sixth one started watering the plants. What did the seventh sister do? And I'll leave that up to you guys. And we'll find out at the end of this little Bino Bud program. How's that?
I remember it.
There you go. So it's very much a binocular asterism. The Seven Sisters of the Pole are a group of Berta stars in the shape reminiscent of the Pleiades. Although the pattern is similar, these sisters are larger than the original. And then very close by is an old open cluster called NGC 188. How do I find it in the sky? Well, it's not very difficult. No matter what time you look due north, as long as it's dark. Find Polaris. Come down a little bit, and there it is right in here. Is where you find the Seven Sisters of the Pole. Take a closer look. There's Polaris just down, and there's the Seven Sisters of the Pole right in here. So it's not difficult to find at all. This is what you're kind of going to see if you had like super good vision and can make out colors and all that. But in pair of binoculars, 10 by 50, there's Polaris at the top. Look at this. It's a huge target. So it takes up, half your field of view easy. But it is easy to spot once you find Polaris. Compared to the full moon, it's not even worth saying, but 10, 12 full moons in size. Like it's pretty big. There's no question about it. And everybody remembers what we thought about when we were getting our first scope. Like we were all going to go everywhere. So, binocular target of the week by Bono Bud. What is the answer to the Seven Sisters of the Cottage riddle? What did the seventh sister do?
I'm going to say nothing at all.
She played chess.
She did.
Because the third sister started playing chess, and it takes two people to play. Arr. That's binocular target of the week by Bono Bud.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That works. Yeah, you do need. Well, you have to. Well, sometimes you can play with a computer today, but
Yeah, well, yeah.
you have no friends.
Artificial intelligence, as they say.
I ran into an asterism up there one time, and it might be the same one, but to me, I don't know what they called it. It might have been the first Star Wars. There's some machine had the really long legs on it.
Yep.
And there's something up in that area that looked quite a bit like that.
Oh, the walkers, the big,
Are they? Okay, yeah.
yeah, they're walkers.
Johnny,
Yeah, that did look like
That might be it.
I'll have to look up there again.
It was like your Stargate. To me, that was a flux capacitor.
Yeah. Yeah, you're talking about a diamond ring there before. There's the stars, there's circle of stars, and Polaris is the brightest one, and that's also called a diamond ring.
Oh, right on.
And Polaris has a diamond in it.
It's cool.
It is, yes. Awesome. Okay. Thanks, Mike. Another great target. Nice, easy target.
Easy to find. Yep.
Let's go to quick what's up then, and then we're going to go to Rosanna right after that. Let me share my screen. This one. I think that's where our way slideshow from beginning. I think that should bring it up.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go back to the beginning. Hey, what's up this week? Nice little picture there, but we're going to see whether or not we're going to get a chance to see that or not. I guess we have to kind of wait and see what the weather's going to be like, but we'll talk about that. That's the excitement for this week. First of all, though, I want to take a little bit of a look at the planets. I do like to bring up this little solar system map every once in a while myself. I'd like to look at it to see what's up in the sky based on what we are looking at if we look down on top of the solar system from above. So here we are, planet Earth here, as we rotate around the sun counterclockwise, all of us and all of these, and we rotate counterclockwise as well. So we can tell pretty well, if you can get your head around this, you can get an idea of what's up in the sky tonight and what will be up in the morning sky, that kind of thing. So here we are. Let's pretend this is us standing here on planet Earth. We're rotating counterclockwise. As we do, Mercury comes up before the sun. And then so does Jupiter and Saturn, because as we turn around, the sun will come up last. And then as we move ourselves into our evening part of our sky, there's Venus and Mars coming up after the sun sets. And looks like Neptune and Uranus are up in the daytime sky. Is that right, Kurt? Right now?
Yeah.
Say that? Okay.
Well, they're Neptune is both in the morning sky now. Yeah, but fairly close to the sun. Neptune might be achievable, but
yeah,
difficulty.
Lined up there. Yeah. Anyway, I like to look at that because I like to look at this one too. These are from Heavens Above, heavens-above.com, and in here it gives a fair amount more data about what's going on. So, for instance, right now we see Mercury rises at 5:28, which I guess it did rise early morning. Sets at 7 o'clock. Venus, of course, it's that nice big bright evening star we see early in the evening. Rises at 8:30 and sets at after midnight now to -4.1. So that's very, very bright. Mars is still up in our evening sky from 10 in the morning till 1:30 the next morning. And then Jupiter is coming up early morning now, 5 o'clock, just before sunrise. Saturn's up a couple hours before sunrise. They're going to switch around to our evening sky in a little while. Won't be till about late July, I guess, before we get to see them and really nice in our evening sky. Look at these dates down here too, inferior conjunctions. That tells us when these two planets are the only ones that can be at inferior conjunction. They're going to be between us and the sun on May the 1st for Mercury, which just passed, of course, and then we're not looking till August 13th for Venus. So we still have Venus in our evening sky for quite a while longer yet. Jupiter at opposition on the 3rd of November. So we have Jupiter late in the season this year, which is going to give us a nice object to take a look at right up till Christmas, I guess, and even past that point. Saturn, though, its prime time is August 27th of 2023. That's when it's at opposition. So we'll have some nice viewing of Saturn through July and right into the fall. So we've got a pretty good year coming up, I think, for oppositions, for people who like to get out in the fall sky, which I do. Of course, too, this week, there's all kinds of ISS passes. Kurt, did you do that talk or the write-up about for Facebook on the ISS marathon? Was that you? Or maybe
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So we talked, a little bit about the number of ISS passes that are available at this time of year. So look at the dates here. Here's the 13th, the 14th, and look at how many passes we have on the 15th. Great. Also, all week long, we've got some really nice passes of the ISS. They're starting, some of them are in the morning sky, there are a couple in the evening sky. So if you can catch them all in the day, then you've done the ISS marathon, I guess, right? Catch them in the 24-hour period. And it's possible to catch this number of passes anyway. I'm going to pick one out here. I think which one I picked up was the 15th, which is on tomorrow at 21:38. And that's this pass right here. So it's almost overhead, which is really nice. We got 21:37 when we first see it to 21:47 before it leaves the sky. So that's quite a pass. Like you've got a good 10 minutes there to catch the ISS passing over tomorrow night. Clear sky. I don't know if it's clear tomorrow night or not, but if you miss tomorrow night, you've got lots more passes to take the opportunity of. So go to heavens-above.com, top right-hand corner, enter your location, then click on ISS, and it'll give you this chart. And click on any one of these dates, and it'll give you that map for when the times are going to pass over you. Now, there's also lots of apps too. NASA has an app, ISS tracker. There's a number of them that people can download, but I find that one the easiest place to go. From there, let's go to this one, which is the other big thing happening this week, and it's the lunar occultation of Jupiter. So you watch, you will see Jupiter pass behind the moon, or the moon pass in front of Jupiter, more likely. And that's going to happen at 8:56 on Wednesday morning, and it finishes at 9:56. That's Atlantic time. Here it comes popping out the other side. So telescopes are going to provide the best view. The moon is going to be just about 5% or less illuminated, and it's going to be in a bright daytime sky. So it's going to be difficult to pick out. Even with a small telescope, it'll be tough, but you can get it. And you want to be careful too that the sun is far to your left when you're doing that, or far to the east when you're doing it. This is 9 o'clock in the morning, so the Jupiter and the moon will be up about 35 degrees or so above the horizon. So it should be an easy target if you're not surrounded by really tall trees. So watch for that on Wednesday morning from 8:56 to 9:56 Atlantic time. If the weather is proper and I can arrange the time, I'm going to be offering a live view here with these guys here who are hopefully going to have a view through their observatories. So watch for, I've got a post up about that already, but we'll see if we can share that on Wednesday morning. Right now it's calling for showers Wednesday morning and clear in the afternoon. So maybe we can postpone this to the afternoon.
There you go.
Remember somebody posting that about a solar eclipse once.
Well, I mean, you just got to put it on pause, don't you?
Friday. Why can't we do it on a weekend? Why does it have to happen on the Friday? Anyway, yeah, we'll just have to pause. Other than that, this week, Friday's new moon. Our moon turns new on Friday at 12:25 Atlantic time, just after lunch. When our moon is new, it sits between our planet and the sun, not exactly in line, but a little bit above or below. The days around new moon are also lead to nice darker evenings too, and opportunities to view all those fun, faint, fuzzy objects we enjoy so much as well. So get out after Friday or before, a couple of days before Friday and a few days after to get the best views of your night sky. We go to this chart every month. Lisa's Look Up, Astronomy and More. Lisa puts out this great chart telling us about events that are coming up. So this is events for May. These are all the major events for May, the dates of those events, the peak times when you want to view them, and what you need to view them with, your naked eye, binoculars, or a telescope. So thanks, Lisa, again for that. We're waiting for your June one. We'll get that one up some sort soon. So you can follow Lisa at Ruby Moonbeams on Instagram, Twitter, Mastodon, and Facebook. And our gentleman here, Kurt, puts together this excellent calendar every month. You can get this calendar at sjastronomy.ca or at RaskNB. You can go there and find the monthly calendar. And this one's actually for 6 weeks. But here we are this week coming up. So there's the ones in highlighted or in blue here, ones that are probably the best events, I would say. There's our new moon coming up on Friday night, and then everything else is happening without the next 6 weeks, including the first star party of the year on June 16th, which is here, Kuchquak Star Party. So you can find the list too of our star party events if you go to RaskNB and click on star parties. I think that's on the St. John page too, Mike.
Yep.
This is parties. Okay.
Yep.
So hopefully we'll see some of you at the star parties events this year as well. Okay, so a little bit of talk about this one here, the Shoot the Moon contest. This is coming up next. Next Saturday, I believe, is the day. Yeah, this is Sunday. So next Saturday was when we'll start. Begins on May 20th and it ends at midnight on June the 5th. So the contest has 2 entry levels, children and adults, 12 and up. Now the adults, we're asking to take a new image of the moon and send it in to astronomybythebay@gmail.com. Don't send me a full moon image if the moon is only 1 day old, because I won't accept it. The idea here is for you to get outside, snap a photo of the moon, enjoy the view, and then send the photo off to me. The children's contest this time, we're splitting the contest up into 2 parts like we did last time around, which is a lot of fun. So we're asking children to draw an image of what you might see through a telescope or binoculars, planets, aliens, whatever you think, Martians. Have your parents send that image of your drawing to take a picture of it, send it to the same address, astronomybythebay@gmail.com. Now, the prizes for adults includes a $100 gift certificate for any of the dark sky destination partners through Cliff Valley Astronomy. Now that's Deep Sky Eye, Storytown Cottages, Glamping by the Sea, Falcon Ridge, and more. And for the children's entries, we'll actually get some books to go along with those as well. For the children's entries, we have 2 child-friendly telescopes to give away, lots of books and more. And the contest details will be posted on my page soon. So by Wednesday, I'll put up all the details about the contest coming up. And thanks again to Cliff Valley Astronomy for their sponsorship for this event. So keep an eye out for that one. That's coming up very soon. And that's what we got coming up this week.
Oh,
Oh, that's funny.
R.
Oh, share. My stop share button. Somewhere. Hang on. I'll get back in there again. Where am I finding it? It's got to be here. Nope. Nope. Where am I at?
Humble.
Oh, fumble. Hold on. Let's go back in here. Now I can get my stop share, I think.
Okay.
No, it's gonna be here somewhere. One of these windows got it.
Go ahead and jump.
Jump. There.
Me is at the top of the screen.
Okay, there it is.
There you go.
It's on the other screen. Woo! I hate life. Okay. Okay, 1 second before I go anywhere else. Just bear with me, I know. Look at this one here. Let me show you quickly what that scope looks like. So here's one of the scopes that we're giving away. Nope, I got the wrong slide up. I do.
Wrong slide. Next slide.
Next slide. Hang on. Boy, oh boy. One of them nights. Does that bring it up? No.
Haven't changed anything. We're still looking at the little first scope.
Oh, okay. You did see that first scope? Okay, that's what I was trying to show you. Gee. Let's do it again. Okay, this one. Yeah. You saw the scope. Okay.
There it is.
That's one of the grand prizes for the children's scope anyway. So and then we have another prize here. And get it. Too many windows. Get over here and share the screen. This one. So here's some other prizes that are going along with it. So we got a Journey into Space puzzle here, 50 things to see in the moon, book of jigsaw puzzle on space bays, and lots of things to know about space. So lots of kids prizes there as well to give away. And I'm gonna hold up this one. The adults, I have actually for the kids, again, we have one of these telescopes as well. This is the Telescope 70. This way, here we go. Telescope. Great for kids. It comes in a little backpack. This is it here. All enclosed. So take it out, set it up. All the toys and everything, all the parts are inside. There's your tripod and your scopes down in the corner and accessories. So that's to give away for the grand prize for the kids. I've also got 3 copies of this book called the Night Sky Atlas for adults. Moon, planets, stars, and deep sky objects. Nice little book. Lots of detail about. There's lots of sky charts in there. There's lots of information about the moon, planets, stars. Good reference book. Easy to fold, easy to fold in half. You don't have to worry about it. It's going to put it back to the right shape. nice and waterproof. We've got a copy of 50 Things to See on the Moon as well to go with the kids' prices. And I have 2 copies of this book called Astronomy, the Definitive Guide giveaway. That's a nice big thick one. Well, it's a nice little pocket book, all kinds of data about planets and stars and maps and everything you want to know about space, but that we're afraid to ask. They're going to be listed on page as far as contest prizes on Wednesday evening. So, okay. Good. Okay. Let's move on. How about from there to Rosanna's talk?
All right. Okay, let's see if we can make this happen, number one. And this is this week's
Rosanna's Fun Fact.
Welcome back, Rosanna, for another one of Rosanna's amazing fun facts. So let's get right to it. So Rosanna writes, hi, Paul. Back between 1885 and forward to the 1950s, something amazing was going on that the average Joe or Josephine was mostly unaware of. During this time, photographs of the night sky through telescopes were cataloged on glass plates. On a hill in Cambridge, Massachusetts, there is a massive archive of data, 170 tons worth of these glass plates. If you casually came across one of these glass plates, roughly the size of a piece of paper, you might think it was just a dusty, dirt-speckled piece of glass, but these plates contain a wealth of information that is still to this day being studied. During the time period of history, Harvard hired a woman to pore over, observe, and record stellar variability, the natural change in brightness that all stars demonstrate through their lives. The woman who discovered how variations in brightness of specific stars revealed their energy output, a relationship that provided a way to measure great distances. They examined a star's light spectrum and determined that the intensities of the star's colors indicated its chemical composition. They counted and cataloged galaxies. With such discoveries, these women laid the foundation for modern astrophysics. These women, known as the Pickering's women or women computers, studied and scoured over 550,000 of these plates. On one side would be the image, and on the other side of the glass, they would write equations, observations, circles, letters, and many other details. So what you're seeing here is a glass plate image shows the Carina Nebula on the left, taken in Arequipa, Peru, on April the 7th in 1896. The James Webb Space Telescope's image of the Carina Nebula on the right, and that was from the Harvard College Observatory Astronomical Photograph Glass Plate Collection. Now, astronomer Annie Cannon examines photographic plates of the night sky at the Harvard College Observatory during the early to mid 20th century. These were the records from 1920s, 1970s from the Smithsonian Institute of the Archives. So this is the records. Now, these glass plates represent the earliest photographic atlases of the skies. They allowed astronomers to establish a classification system for stellar objects, which ultimately served as a record of the sky, spanning almost a century. Now, amazingly, these plates are still in use today and contain a rare history. Now, this is Alison Doan that you see in this image as she inspects the plate of the small Magellanic Cloud, taken on a 24, and I don't have the rest of the information that goes along with that. Now, here's the other image that, whoops, okay, there was 2 images, and apparently I missed one. There is another plate image that I, for some reason, didn't catch. It's in the thing, but it's just 1 second. Let me scan through and see if it's just out of order. There it is there. So Alan Doan places a positive copy of a small Magellanic Cloud on top of a negative of the same image. Now the computers, the women, would pore over these composites to discover new variable stars. Now let me just get to the next image. That is correct. You just want to bear with me and get back in line. And I believe it's right there. Okay. In the early 2000s, a project called DOSH, a digital access to the sky century at Harvard, was begun by Jonathan Grinley. The project is almost finished. Unfortunately, the process needed to digitize the photographic data on the glass plates involved cleaning them to such an extent that all the notes, equations, and discoveries were wiped off. So this was all the stuff that they had put on the back, which was their information that they were summarizing out of these observations. A young artist heard about this project in 2019, and to her dismay, discovered over 400,000 plates had already been cleaned. Erica Blumfield set about to trying to record the notes written by women over the years on the plates that were left. These include notes by such trailblazers as Henrietta Swan Leavitt and Wilhelmina Fleming. Now, Erica had Harvard's permission to start to study and copy the plates when the pandemic hit. With physical access no longer possible, she found another way, one that combined modern technology with ancient printmaking methods. Collaborating with the research-based studio Island Press at Washington University in St. Louis, she began with the digital photos captured during the DOSH scanning process and removed all the pixels in those images other than the women's marks. Bloomfield and her collaborators uploaded the digital file to a machine that etched the marks onto an acrylic plates. They applied transparent ink to the etched plates and then pressed each one onto deep blue paper, which at the same time was pressed against thicker backing paper. The intaglio process embossed the blue paper with the plate's marks lifting off the sheet. The transparent ink acted as an adhesive for the final touch and a 24-karat gold leaf. And I'm just going to show you that right there. Tracing Luminaries is the name of Erica's project and contains 6 examples of the fascinating work done daily by these female computers. Perhaps equally important is the historical record we now have of at least 141 known ladies. Some notes had just initials, no names, and their authors will remain a mystery. There's a book by Deva Sobel telling the story of the ladies of Harvard. And that was when that one got out of the line. There we go. Now, it is in my Amazon cart as my Mother's Day present to me. After all, you know, most of these ladies were moms who, after a day of gazing at galactic features, went home, made supper for their families. And therefore, supper's ready. Note to self, I need to check my figures on Halley's Peripherium passage tomorrow. And that is this week's
Rosanna's Fun Fact.
And what an amazing fun fact it was yet again. So thank you so much, Rosanna, for that information. She comes up with the most amazing things. And who would have thought that back in the late 1800s they were doing this?
There's a little story behind that. When the computers got started, Pickering was not very happy with his grad students because they thought they were lazy and they weren't very driven for doing this drudge work. So he told them his Scottish maid could do a better job than them. But he also knew that a Scottish maid was very sharp, well-versed in mathematics, and pretty good. So he brought her in. That was Wilhelmina Fleming. And from there, they kept bringing more in.
That's amazing. So they had a lot of people involved in that, and it was interesting that they would just write stuff on the back of the plates, and then the people who didn't have the foresight to maybe somehow document that data somewhere safe before they cleaned the plates.
If they were digitizing it, why wouldn't you take a photograph of it and then clean it from there?
Yeah,
Huh?
I mean, really, right? So 144,000 of them got wiped clean.
Yeah, I think a lot got thrown out back in the 40s or 50s there when Don Menzel was at the observatory.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway,
All that history.
it's
Remember
quick history of how things went on. That would, I don't think that would happen today, but
No.
but back
No.
in the day, the procedures were, especially considering what they were doing and the
I
people
know.
choosing to do these things.
I think the original Apollo tapes got taped over, so I mean, stranger things have happened.
Yeah, who knows? But anyway, great fun fact. Great fun fact.
The stuff she finds, I don't know. Wow.
I love it.
Love it. Thank you, Rosanna, once again. Okay, let's go to some photos then, and then we're gonna sign off after that, I guess. Get some photos up here. Here with me. Where's your guitar, Paul?
Oh, I didn't think we needed any more. I thought
I started to learn to play the back category.
I still have my dual lights.
If I'm hosting, you know, you gotta have something going on.
My lightsabers.
Yeah. Okay, I think I'm here. Almost, not quite. Darn it. Where are they at?
Doing that with an SOS pad?
What did you use to clean it with, Mike?
SOS pad.
SOS pad, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what I need to get some new ones.
It was
Talking
clean.
to these guys, because something happened here with my photos. Just a minute. Keep talking there. Keep talking. Well,
Yes, indeed.
I think I'm gonna have to apologize for missing some of these. Every once in a while, my photos get combined into one category, and it takes 2 weeks of photos and mixes them all together, and then brings out what it feels like. Let me show.
Artificial intelligence is taking over.
Yes, I've only got,
That's that AI stuff, right?
it is.
Photo salads.
Well, anyway, the ones that I don't show tonight, I'll make sure I show again next week, because I have the notes.
While you're digging that up, Mike and I were talking earlier on the new version of Bino Bud.
You go ahead.
What am I missing here?
Oh, you know what? I'll save it. I'm gonna have a nice little package for it when we talk about it and when we reveal.
You guys are gonna read something?
The reveal, yeah.
Before we go live, you mean, or you're gonna just reveal it on live?
No, I'll just reveal it some night and you won't even know about it. It'll be a
Oh, okay.
surprise to you too.
A new vinyl bud.
Should do it in the last show of the season.
A new interpretation.
New
Bud.
interpretation vinyl.
Bino Bud.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Well, I guess I'll wait. Let's bring up just a few photos that I got, and some of the ones I'm gonna have to show next week. It looks like. Thought I had one here. I'm missing my first 5 pictures. Anyway, they're from Jeff Pendlebury. Jeff, I apologize. We'll bring them up again next week. Let me go to these ones. There. Okay, and I'm gonna share my screen. This one, I think. You got a picture up there?
There you
There
go.
you go. The sun.
Yeah, this is
Spots.
from David Hoskins' picture.
Yes, sir.
Very nice.
Nice, lots of sunspots.
Nice shot.
What day was that?
That was a few days ago. I don't get the date on it. All I've got is sun. And I believe it was in the astro imaging tutorials page there. Every once in a while, I don't get enough photographs to show on our program, so I go in and I steal them from other people.
There you go.
I borrow them, yeah, with full credit, of course.
Yeah.
Anyway, that one. We got this one here from Mr. Hoskins as well. A little
Yeah.
closer shot. Nicely done. Mr. Powell.
Yes, sir. Looks like
Oh,
the
that
same,
was a couple of days ago.
that looks the same name as David Hoskins.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Sunspots look like they're the same orientation and everything. Yeah,
Yeah.
they are.
Anyway, nicely done, Mike. And closer shot.
Closer shot there.
A nice moonshot from this morning.
There you go.
Oh, yeah. This morning with the birds.
Yeah. Here it is again.
That was at 9 o'clock this morning, but I shot that in mono because I forgot to take my duo filter out.
It
Okay.
looks better, right? I like that. That's a nice
Yeah,
look.
nice.
Well, it was a bright blue sky actually that I shot it against. Believe it or
Yeah, well,
Oh,
that's
really?
just, that's a nice look. You can study the craters and stuff.
Great.
Nice.
not. The detail's still there, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, from there, we're going to Chris Benoit. Capture of the sun.
Yes, sir.
Nicely done. Lots of sun shots here because we've had lots of activity.
Yeah.
Kathy Adams capture from the 7th.
Looks like everybody was out in the same day.
Well, we've had the weather for it.
Yeah. That 3296 is the one that was supposed to generate all the activity this past week for the aurora, but didn't, kind of ended up as a dud, which does happen. Unfortunately, I post information about what's going to be happening through the NOAA site and all the apps, and all of a sudden nothing happens.
Yeah. You can't tell. No,
No,
it's all
no.
a turkey shoot, right?
It is, really is. Even just a couple hours ahead of time, they say it's going to be great, and it deflects off the planet or doesn't materialize.
Yeah.
There's Kathy's other shot. Nice, Kathy. This one is from, I believe this one's from Joey Craswell.
Joey, yeah.
Yeah, Whale Galaxy, NGC 4631, imaged Saturday on the 6th, ASI Air Plus, 40 by 180 seconds exposure time, 2 hours. Evolution 8, 1280 millimeter f6.3, ASI 533 Pro camera. Stacked in Deep Sky Stacker and edited in Cyril, SIRIL.
Yeah, surreal.
Cyril, okay, thank you.
He's getting some nice shots.
Does, yeah. And there's his M3 capture.
Yeah.
Sure.
Seconds by 5, 10 minutes total exposure time. Edited on iPhone with the photo edited in Lightroom. Sure. Yeah.
Phone.
And short life stack of M101 pinwheel. Before the clouds rolled in, only 11 by 180 seconds, no flats because I removed the reducer from the SCT. Okay. Awesome. Beautiful.
Nice shot.
Yeah, nice work.
Rubber Gadets halo around the sun.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That's usually not a good sign.
Yeah. That's right. Of course, we've had a smoky. Oh, this is his other capture too of the moon.
Ah, cool.
And we've got some smoky sun shots here. Of course, we're getting some forest fire smoke. I think we're gonna do for some more this week coming up. The last batch was coming up from the eastern US, I guess, and I think there's some coming in from Alberta now shortly.
Yeah.
But it does lend itself to a different kind of a,
It's a really, it's almost like a tinted sky when you see it.
yeah. This one's from COVID PEI Sunset. I think that's from Jeff. No, that's from Caitlin. Sorry, Caitlin Boyce. And this was from Donna Davis. Or the Matterquack head pond, she said, outside of Fredericton. iPhone didn't pick up the brightness of the orange hue. That's what I noticed too. The phone couldn't really pick up that really brilliant orange that was appearing
Yeah.
at sunset, or even just before sunset. There's a nice capture there from Jeff.
Venus was orange too there Friday night.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Very
There's
nice.
sunset at Cove Head PEI Thursday, May the 11th. So, wow.
Nice, eh?
Robert Gadet's sun shot from today.
Yeah.
Robert, you're doing some amazing stuff there.
That gets some nice shots.
Yeah.
Lots of detail.
It's really good.
Star. And there's other capture from today as well.
Yes, sir.
Lots of prominences, filaments.
Lots of activity, hey?
All kinds.
Yeah, if I got Darren's, no, I don't. Okay, gotta go back and see if I can find Darren's capture here. Hang on 1 second. I'm gonna stop share for a second. I think it's in the same category because I didn't want to kind of show that.
Well, while you're stopped, I'll share today's image as well, the solar image.
Sure.
All right,
There you go.
there you go. This is like a 10-minute exposure with a HB number 2 lead filter.
Don't let them wash your plates.
And it's rotated for north up.
That's a nice
There you go.
sketch, Kurt.
Well done.
See, there's only a couple of the provinces at the top there,
Yeah.
There are a lot of big filaments there.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
So this is with an Astroscan with a body filter and also with the PST.
yes, sir.
Oh, very
Combine the
nice.
two.
Nicely done. There you go. That's old images.
You
You
were
gotta have
speaking about
patience.
the smoke coming across the country.
Yeah,
You
Just
got to have the
quickly go.
patience to be able to do that that sketching.
You
You
see
do.
that?
sure. Oh, which one are you on?
Oops.
Oh,
You
You're
don't
on
see that?
some kind of a map.
Yeah, that's it.
There's a smoke path coming across the country.
Yeah.
We don't, you show up there?
yeah, I got it now. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, just it's from those wildfires. You can see it's heading in their direction, but still
Yeah.
quite a ways off.
Yeah.
All right, let me share that last clip I had here. It was from Aaron White from View from Long Range. So just a sec, I'll play that one real quick.
Oh, nice.
I think he's got it showing it here dropping. So yeah, there it is, the smoky sunset.
That's cool.
That's pretty neat. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it looks like a fireball when it hits, eh?
Glad it wasn't. Anyway, okay, let me get out of that. I think I can do it this way. Get it this way. Some of these screens tonight. Okay, last thing to share is this one, just to let you know that this is where we like to get our photos to. So send them into astronomybythebay@gmail.com and we would be happy to share them. If I can get them all together, we'd be happy to share on our next program.
Chris is going to take the summer off and learn how to operate that system of his.
I'm happy to let anybody else host. If anybody would like to, you're more than welcome.
Not judging. Just
Not
simply,
judging, no, yeah. That's just a lot to control at once. Okay, well, I guess we're done anyway. So,
I guess that if there's an opportunity to fly to Mars and you're going on it, so long as you're not controlling the unit, I think you'll probably be okay.
go right on by.
Whoops.
Well, I was holding.
Next slide.
Breaks on his face very easily.
A whole new meaning to artificial intelligence.
Really intelligence. Okay, easy guys, that's enough. Okay, closing in tonight. Thanks again for all your support out there, Kurt. Thanks so much for your informative talk again tonight.
Most welcome.
Back again next month for another constellation talk. Appreciate it. We may be talking about solar eclipse. You was it June that was telling me that you have some information on solar eclipse, or you're doing a talk on the solar eclipse coming up
Yeah, our meeting this Wednesday.
this Wednesday? Okay, so
Yeah, it's the same one I did for the schools there during Science Week.
okay, well, keep your notes. We'll be bringing you back for that too. So that's another one to be talking about. Okay, so anyway, thanks very much. Of course, a special thanks again to Rosanna for continued contributions to the program. Thank you, Rosanna. Really appreciate it. And also a special thanks goes out to Trudy and all of you who share our program for us. We also hope that those of you who have joined us from Rogers enjoy the program tonight. If you would like more information about the wonders of the night sky, you can find me at astronomybythebay.ca. Remember, we do love getting your photos, so send them in to astronomybythebay@gmail.com. We'll try to get them on our next broadcast for you. And please let your friends and family know that we will be here next Sunday night. We got another 6 weeks of programs, and then we're going to take a summer break. We'll probably do maybe one show in July, one show in August, to let you know, and then we're going to come back again in September. But it's time to take a little bit of a break, I think. Anyway, please let your friends and family know that we will be back here next Sunday night at 8 p.m. on YouTube and Facebook to entertain you on the night sky. So for now, then, from Kurt, Paul, Mike, myself, wish you all a safe week, everybody. Lots of clear skies. And as we like to say, guys, open your eyes to view the skies and keep your scopes pointed up. Good night, everyone.